So I want to talk with you a kind of an imperative really. Jai thodi generation here, you're like the upcoming 20, 21, 22, 24-year-olds. So there's about a 10, 12 year, 15-year gap between you guys and me. Yeah? I'm 37 now. So in that sense, that's the next generation. 15 years, they say, new generation. So what's the imperative for this upcoming new generation? Well, in a way, you might think, oh, there's so many problems in the Panth, I can't deal with it. You know, the Punjab seems to be drowning, everybody's worried about what's happening in India. And the world here is very confusing as well. Who runs the Gurdwara? And I feel like the first thing all of you will have to do in your generation is to reprogram yourself. Why I say that is because we've been fed a version of Sikhi that may not be actual Sikhi. It's been going on ever since the British came to India. We're always at these big gatherings talking about Second World War, First World War. They all walk in and say we're such loyal citizens of the Crown. We've shown loyalty to the British, and we walk around with this kind of like, you know, you guys owe us, you were in the First World War, Second World War. But the reality we're going to have to wake up to is that the British were one of the worst enemies of Sikhi. And they tried their best to destroy it, the true Sikhi. Yeah? And what was left is some weird Christian version of Sikhi, yeah? Where people don't naam jap, they don't believe in experiencing God. They keep drawing these barriers saying we're not this, we're not that, those guys are monkey worshippers, those guys are this worshippers. We've drawn ourselves away from a lot of the adhyatmik gallan, the spiritual teachings of our Guru. And now it's like we believe in the one God and we wear the 5Ks. That's what Sikhis come down to. And we've been told that we don't preach, we don't spread our faith. We've been programmed to live a version of Sikhi which is not exactly what the Guru started. And you have to reprogram yourself because we've now become colonial. We've got a colonial mentality. You know, all the Guru do is great. And we forget what they actually did to us. And even this Juban that we're speaking, Farangi Pasha, Angreji, it's even got no respect inside it. There's no thee, thou for somebody who's older. The Shakespearean English is gone. What's left is this kind of quite rude version of a language, which is not very polite and doesn't have all the intricacies and the respect that comes inside Punjabi built in. And to reprogram ourselves, we're going to have to just stick to two things. What happened in our history and what happened in Gurbani. And whatever is outside of that, we don't need to look at it. It does not inform Sikhi. You know, you'll see quotes on the internet, you know, before being a Hindu, a Sikh or a Muslim, be a good human first. And it's got Guru Nanak Dev Ji's picture and it says, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said this. They did not say that. It's not in Gurbani, it's not in our history. Samajh? People will sell you a version of Sikhi which is not Sikhi. And you might end up buying it. And then when someone comes along and says, actually, we are a preaching kind of faith, we are supposed to spread, you might think, that sounds crazy, that's not the Sikhi that I've been raised with. But I invite you all to challenge yourself not to accept the version of Sikhi unless it's from Gurbani or from Itihas. And this reprogramming is going to have to be done quite quickly because even things like going on Morche down to the centre of, I don't know, wherever, downtown Vancouver, shouting out our Nari and stuff, maybe that's not Sikhi either. Maybe that's not really what is in our history, you know. Maybe petitions to the UN aren't really part of our history or part of Gurbani or part of how the Guru would deal with something. And you're going to get told this is what you've got to do. Maybe voting isn't part of Sikhi, maybe we shouldn't have voting in Sikhi whatsoever. You know, you're going to have to dwell really deep down and work out, well, what is Sikhi then? What is actually the Guru's way? Because that's not going to get told to you easily. You're going to have to struggle hard to find out what would the Guru do in this case, you know. I want to give you an example of when I went to Mehrauli in Delhi, so we started doing prachar in India now, for those of you that don't know. So we go to tours to India, we do prachar at the local gurdwara, not just the SCPC ones because they're hard to get into, but the local gurdwara. I'll go to a place called Mehrauli, and if you know much about Delhi or where Mehrauli might be, struggling probably here. It's quite near the Qutb Minar, the majoritarily Muslim area, yeah. And that is actually where Banda Singh Bahadur, that's where he was shaheed. In Mehrauli, you can go to the Gurdwara where Banda Singh Bahadur had his shaheedi done. So his son Jai Singh was chopped, and his heart was pulled out of his body and put in Banda Singh Bahadur's mouth. Right there, you can go to the place where they've got the jagah, and that was 300 years ago exactly. In 1716, Banda Singh Bahadur was shaheed in Delhi. When you go there, you're asking about 1984, November 1984 I'm talking about. I asked them, I said, how many families were here? They said there's only about 19 families living in Mehrauli at that time. They got 18 families got burgled, 18 families probably had somebody raped, some of the women got raped, 18 families, had lost a lot. One family did not. I was like, oh, why? Why? How were they saved? They go, oh, apne ghar to bahar baithe sige. They weren't hiding, they hadn't gone away, they were sitting outside their house. But nothing happened to them. And do you know why nothing happened to them? Yeah, they stood outside their house. You probably heard this from me. They sat outside their house with their kirpana. All the Singhs are armed. They said, Aajo. And no one came. You see, the people that raped, the people that killed, there's one thing common amongst all of them, Qair sige. They were all scared. No one wanted to be the first one to get killed. There was no taram yudh going on at that point. ठीक है ना? So for all that we blame everybody else for what happened to us in November 1984, very rarely have we done the Gursikhi thing of pointing fingers back at ourselves and saying, "Appa kuch galt kita." This is something again our Panth is not very good at doing. But it is a Sikh way of looking back and working out where did we go wrong? What did we do that was not as per our Guru's hukum? Well, we weren't Shastar Tari. Yeah? We weren't Tyar Bar Tyar, ready upon ready. Keep telling my kids the meaning of ready upon ready. Ready upon ready means you're ready now. And I was watching, I don't know, it might be funny to you guys, I was watching Jungle Book on the plane coming over here because, my kid watches it, I wanted to catch up with the latest news. And when I was watching Jungle Book, because they done it with quite good animation, yeah, one thing you notice is, they're just always ready, innit, animals. Sher nu dekh lo. Look at a wolf, look at a sher, look at a jackal, look at these animals that live in the forest. They could be walking anywhere and something could walk into their house and they're ready there and then to fight and die. They've got their shastras on them. Akal Purakh has made them with shastras and they're ready there and then to die and fight. And we should be ready the same way. The minute someone knocks on your door, it could be the enemy at the front door and you're ready because you're always armed. And we didn't follow our Guru's hukum. And yet we go around on these marches and we blame everybody else because we're too weak to point the finger at ourselves and accept our own mistakes. And it comes from an insecurity. You're going to have to be brave about that because the people in our community don't want to hear you point fingers at ourselves. Yeah? Our Babbe that are walking around on these marches, they don't want to hear from you guys saying, but hold on, what about our fault? We didn't have weapons. And even now, the message hasn't gone out to the masses that it was our fault, you to get armed. No hukamnama has come from Akal Takht Sahib saying every Sikh family should have 2 weapons per person, minimum. That would be the response that the Khalsa would have done. The Khalsa would have heard, well, these people got killed because they weren't armed. How dare you not be armed? Sabnu hukam hai gaya, 2 shastra rakho. Right? That's how you would deal with it in an army situation. That's how you would deal with it in any kind of like responsible situation. You would take charge of your own problems and solve them. So what I mean by the imperative is you're going to have to work out what is Sikhi and what is the Guru's message for yourself. And not many people are going to help you in that way. What I mean by that, the older people are not going to really help you with that. Because they've been programmed a certain way. Yeah? And they've not been programmed using Gurbani and Itihas. They've been programmed by a Western system which has made them feel like second-class citizens and they've had to fit in to survive. And even now they want you to, my Dadi who lives in Nanaimo is a perfect example. Whenever I go and see her, normal questions you'll have is, what the daadi to nahi banda, Siddhi Pak ke nahi banda, sona laguga tu. You know? I'm like, where are you getting this from? Where is this idea of sona coming from? It's coming from a Angrez system. It's a Farangi system, it's not our system. You know, it's foreign to Sikhi. To be sitting there with your beard tied up in a pug that is basically a damala sideways, yeah, on your head. Right? It's just a damala that they twisted. And we've been fooled into becoming Sikhs that are not our Guru Sikhs. And that's why we're falling around now. You know, this whole system of Vajja, it's an abomination in a way. It's not really Sikhi. You can't even play Rag Kirtan on it because you can't do the meme. If you don't know what that means, go and Google it. You can't twist notes. And not only that, you know, we can't even read Bani in the way it's intended. Judve Akhar. You know, most people don't even know what that is. Aajkal Sangat kuch nahi pata. And that generation of people that are growing up, our elders, unhone sambhali nahi sikhi. Let's be honest about it. Yeah? They just managed to keep the buildings going. Every Gurdwara in Surrey, every Gurdwara of the world has pakka got one thing. What's that? Renovation. Every Gurdwara has got a building fund. Now, how many Gurdwara have a Prachar fund? How many have a fund for Naujawan that want to study Sikh at university? How many have got a fund for those that want to become Punjabi literature PhDs? There's not one university outside of India where you can study Punjabi as a degree. There's not one university where you can really get our Puratan Granths and study them as part of a Sikh university degree. All you end up learning is some random version of Sikhi, which has come from other people's writings upon Sikhi. You can become an expert on commentary on Sikhi, but not in the Puratan Granths, because there's no experts of those. So we're so far away from what we need to do, but everywhere else it's like, bahut badhiya hai, Gurdwara kinna sona ban gaya. Yeah, Amarta jaisi pujari hai gain, we're just building. So I don't want to start off in a negative way. I wanted to just show you the imperative for you now is that you're the generation that's going to have to solve these problems. You know, this is, and why is that like a good thing? You know, because you might think, I don't want a hassle, man. I want an easy life. I want these problems to be sorted. I want to have university degrees already made. I want to have a bunch of scholars and everything available so I can go and learn. Why don't I have these things? Why have I got to deal with solving these problems? Well, there's one more thing you've got to remember. When it's really, really dark, a little spark can make a big difference. Agreed? A little candle in a complete darkness can make a difference. Whereas if it's a daytime, like now, and then you've got a little candle, no one really cares that there was a little candle in the daylight. So here's what you are, innit? All of you have the option to be a candle in complete darkness versus a candle in the daylight. Where's there more value? In the darkness. So this is the best time to shine. This, at the moment, your generation, is one of the best times to be a Sikh, because now you can bring back authentic Sikhi to the front, and you can really make it shine, and you can show the world what Sikhi really is, and then you can be a light in that darkness. You can make a difference more than you could do if it was all sorted already, it was all perfect. So it's almost like you've got a chance, and you might say, well, I don't need to make my name, I don't need to be famous, I don't need to have koi nao na jane mera, you know. I've got bare nimrta, I've got so much nimrta, koi nao na jane mera. People do that as well, yeah? But there is one person we're trying to impress. Our Guru. The thing is, he's going to ask us, what did we do in it? Tene kam hone puchne nahi, man bach karam. And in this darkness, if now you make a difference, then he'll really appreciate that. And there's a need for it. There's a need for it right now. So the imperative for you guys is to reprogram yourself using Bani, using itihas. Work out what Sikhi really is. Don't get fooled by some guy's books about, you know, who came into what George M. Forrest and those people wrote, or Cunningham wrote. Or, those people aren't as important as like what the Puratan Sikhs wrote. Go and read by Jeta Singh Ratnama. Go and read by Nandlal. Go and read by Gurdashi. You know, find out what he's really saying. I had a person, I tell you, in Delhi, they were like, oh, what's wrong with me going to a mandir? Sikh person saying, what's wrong? They go, my Hindu friend comes to a Gurdwara Matha takes, why can't I go to a mandir and Matha take? On the surface, it sounds like a perfectly reasonable question. And most of us wouldn't know how to answer it, because you sound like you're being rude by saying you can't go and Matha take to a mandir. But anybody give me any Bani Panktis, I can help you answer that question. Any Shabas that will help you to answer that question from Bani. Because this is the imperative, this generation. We've got to get Sikhi from its source, right? So there's an easy answer to this. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says in Chaupi Sahib, Tumhe shad koi avar na tyau, jo bar chaun, to tum te paun. Let me not leave anybody, leave you and go and meditate upon anybody else. Bhai Gurdas Ji writes about the exact same thing. Bhai Gurdas Ji says, Doi darpan dekh, ek main anek roop. Doi na pav chade, pauch na par hai. You probably heard this example in Katha, right? But you didn't know it came from Bhai Gurdas Ji. Where you put your feet on two boats and you can't get across because you fall in the middle. Right? That's from Bhai Gurdas Ji. And he says, he goes, if you look in two mirrors and you stand in the middle, you won't see the truth, because you'll see too many of you, but only one of you. Doi darpan dekh, ek main anek roop. And he goes, Doi naav pav chade, if I put my feet on two boats, pauch na pa rahe, I won't reach across. Then at the end of it, he gives the answer what he's really talking about. At the end of the Shabad, he always gives his main pankti, and he says, Gur Sikh hoye, aan dev sev tev geh, sahaj jam dand, trig jeevan sansar hai. As a Gur Sikh, if you worship any other Devi Devte, you will get the beats of Jamdut and your life will be cursed. Nice and clear, isn't it? So that's why we can't go there, right? So we can't be like, oh, Sikhi says we respect all religions, everything is cool, everything is like this. Where does it say that? When you say Sikhi says, where does it say that? Yeah? Where does this come from? Where does it say that we can't convert? Where does it say we shouldn't preach our religion? Show me a pankti that says, don't go and preach your religion. I haven't found a single person that give me one pankti that says, don't preach Sikhi. But I can tell you a whole bunch of panktis that talk about why you should teach Sikhi. Yeah. So yesterday, I think I went through this yesterday a little bit as well. Conversion is wrong. That's why I went to preaching. Because conversion is to take someone who is happy in a faith and try your best to denigrate their faith and try to get them to become a Sikh. That's conversion. Preaching is just tell them about your faith and telling them about Naam. So hopefully, after a Sikh preaches to someone, there's one of two options for that person. They either follow their own religion more strongly and start jumping more Naam in their own faith, or they become a Sikh. That should be the aim. या फिर मुसलमान होट पक्का कर दो ताकि वो सेरे उठ के नाम जपे, या फिर मुसलमान सिख बन जाए. And it's happened as well. Yeah, it happened in the past when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj just Shahidi Karaya Sikha Maharaj nu. If you look at the what was that guy's name? No. The Musalman Mughal who was the Jahangir. If you read his chronicles of what he wrote, he says a lot of Muslims had become Sikh. He writes in his diary. So Maharaj didn't say no to Muslims becoming Sikh, because it's a point of history. Right? So again, get your Sikhi from Itihas and get your Sikhi from Bani. And then reprogram yourself to working out what the problems of the Pantha and how we're going to solve those. And I believe you me, from all the years I've spent, petitions and marches through towns mean nothing. Zero. They don't even get mentioned in the press. You can get 40,000 Sikhs in London walking through London and they won't even come in the press the next day. And all that money is being wasted. The coaches, they cost like whatever, £500-600 every time, gone to waste. Yeah? All the tickets, all the babbi, all the pronte that they brought down, hasn't achieved a single thing. And they say, well, we've got the fire going in our youth. I'll tell you something, you know what? I'll show you an example of how you need to reprogram yourself. In the London March in June, I went to it. We're walking through London, yeah? And one uncle, he goes to the Bibiya because they were singing Indian government hi hi. Yeah? Right, this is what they were singing, Indian government hi hi. And he goes to the Bibiya, he goes, Bibiyo, जब तुसी हाय हाय कहंदे हो ना जोर नाल कहो जिवें तुहाडा कोई घर कोई मरिया है ना तुसी रो रहे हैगे हो उस तरीके नाल तुसी हाय हाय कहो. Sounds reasonable on a Punjabi level, right? Like really shout it out, don't just be in hi hi. Yeah? But then I thought to myself, how do I look at this from the Guru's point of view? Are we supposed to cry at funerals anyway? And I was like, no, we're not supposed to cry at funerals in the first place. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj is becoming Jyoti Jyot and they're saying in their own Bani, ki mere piche rona nahi. They're saying Kirtan gana hai and Hukam manna hai. Tusi rona nahi. So it's not in our tradition to cry anyway at funerals. So you get it? This guy is coming from an angle which is purely Punjabi, but it's not a Sikh angle. And then you have to say, well, should I follow that guy and listen to him? Or should I say, no, Uncle Ji, we're not supposed to cry at weddings, and we're not going to cry because they killed us. We're going to look at ourselves and work out where did we go wrong. Because we're armies. We're part of an army. Yeah, we're not a bunch of people on the sidelines who are victims who are going to cry about it. We're going to work out where we went wrong, and we're going to take badla. So one more thing, people say, oh, we're not a religion that takes badla. We do take badla. If you come into my house and you kill my family, I'm going to come after you. Right? So stop you coming back for me again. Yeah? And that is Guru Gobind Singh Ji sending Bana Singh Bahadur to Sirhind to destroy Sirhind. They didn't say, chal sirf Wazir Khan da sir kat dein, horan nu tu baksh dein. They said, it naal it khadka dein. You know what that means? That there should be no two bricks stuck to each other. Yeah? There should be, every it should be khadking with the other it. Means it should be totally destroyed. Destroy the town of Sirhind. Yeah? So no one ever thinks about doing something like that again. We have a lot of reprogramming to do. And hopefully, if your generation gets it right, you can solve, you can make a big difference in this month. Otherwise, 15, 20 years from now, we'll be talking to the next generation. Saying, "Tanu kuch karna pau." The elders just decided to just, keep their case, take Amrit, and then go back to their normal jobs, work 9 to 5, come home, go to Gurdwara on the weekends, and they didn't solve anything. Yeah? That's the other danger in front of you, that you treat Sikhi as a religion. If you treat Sikhi as a religion, then that's what religious people do. They go to church on Sundays, yeah, or on the evenings, and they learn and they study their whole life, then they die. Yeah? They're of no use to anybody really. And don't treat it like a religion, treat it like a dharma. It's a duty. Yeah? A dharma means you have to uphold that duty. You're dead to the world. That was the whole point of Amrit. You're dead to the world, now you're reborn in the Guru's house. Right? So the worldly concerns don't concern you. The worldly concerns, they don't concern you. You're dead already. The world is scared of death. Kabir Ji saying, Manu Anand aa raha. I want that death. So we start from death. Those of you that have taken Amrit, realize that you're not meant for a worldly life, not a normal life. You've gone beyond that. You've stepped into the Guru's household. Now you're destined for a life of the Guru's choosing. And those that realize it, you get the chance to light candles in the darkness. And whether you like it or not, in the Ardas, we don't remember those people that died at home quietly, with their families surrounding them, saying, we'll miss you. Ardas dekh lo. We don't remember them as a panth. Unhan di qadar hai hi nahi. We remember those that got chopped into pieces. We remember those that did something for the panth. Yeah? I'm not saying you should try to get your name in the Ardas. That's not what I'm saying. But it's worth trying. It's worth trying to get your name in there. Not for yourself, but for the sake that you did earn your Guru's bachan. You lived something which was worthwhile. Tan jiyo tah ko jag mein. मुकते हर चित में जुद विचारे देह अनित ननित रह जस नाव चढ़े पव सागर तारे तीरे धाम बनाए एह तन बुद्ध सो दीपक जो उजियारे ज्ञाने की बड़ी मनो हाथ ले कातरता कुतवार बहारी. Maharaj says, take the broom of Gyan and sweep out the cowardice inside your heart. Kairta. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of things that you can achieve, and the world is your oyster in that sense, but it's going to require for you to basically reprogram yourself using Bani, Ittihas. When they ask you, this is not Sikhi, or this is not what we do, you ask them, where is it? Show me, Hawala dikhao. Show me the proof. Show me where it's written that this is not part of Sikhi. Show me where what you're saying is part of Sikhi.